Are we live? We are?
Oh,
Hi,
good.
welcome to
no
ScreenJunkies News. I'm Roth Cornet.
Tight.
I
Can we turn
believe
one
we're
on?
live, so I'm going to keep going as if we are and introduce the wonderful band of merry gentlemen at the table with me. Dan Murrell is here.
There's one thing we need to add to our checklist, and we keep forgetting to do it,
Is it
and that's
monitor?
make sure that we know when we're on the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's pretty low on my list of priorities. Joe Starr.
I feel like right before we start the show, JT needs to hit us with the broom,
Yes.
the broomstick that he uses for the
Get
lights.
the stick.
Get the stick, JT. We deserve the stick
Oh, hang
already.
on.
Spencer Gilbert.
I mean, I already pretend that nobody's watching this, so
Yeah.
this is just appropriate. That
Yeah.
It looks like no one's
Yeah.
watching it.
Yeah.
Fine.
You know what's weird is when you find out that people do. Like
Yeah,
last
it's
night,
strange.
I was going to see a movie. This is Mr. Adam Hlavic.
Hi. JT, do a better job.
Hey! The monitor's on. Adam is here. We're so happy to have you here
Thanks for
today.
having me.
So yeah, last night we had a screening, which we will be doing a review of that film later today. And I was running down the stairs at the theater, and this guy was like, "Hey, Roth," and I was like, "Hey," really confused because it's that moment when you're like, I don't know who you are, and I feel like I should because you just said my name so casually. And he was like, "Just a big fan," and he kept going.
Aw, that's nice.
That never happens.
There are
so
many. That's
pretty
to our fan, thank you. It's
Thanks,
nice
fan.
to see you
Thanks for watching the show, Paul.
at the art light.
I thought you were going to say mom, which I'd be like, oh, that's very appropriate.
No, my parents don't know how to turn on the internet.
Joaquin Phoenix, I assume, is also watching as always. Joaquin, nice to see you here today.
We are the Fox and Friends to his president.
Exactly.
He watches us every morning.
He only watches
about
this.
the show.
Guiding his career suddenly.
This is the only thing he watches.
Yes.
This is his sole source of information. You have a lot of things wrong.
Apologies, Joaquin. There were some Comcast details that we did
that we
not
apparently missed.
get right.
Actually,
so.
I will asterisk that
Game of
later in the
Thrones
show.
showrunners are hack frauds.
Yeah.
I saw it on SJU.
Yeah, you're getting a number of things wrong due to us. You're welcome. He is going to perhaps play the Joker. What is going on in Todd Phillips' standalone movie? This is breaking news via Variety, who says he's in negotiations. He's not in negotiations with the studio yet. Phillips really wanted him, and he said that Joaquin that's the picture
Nice.
we chose.
I'm real crazy.
That's stretched, I think. No
Bad
boy.
aspect ratio. Joaquin Phoenix, I'm in.
Well, our graphics team hates Joaquin Phoenix, I just learned.
Just really puffy after a lot of HGH. Joaquin Phoenix is my Joker. It's 100% my Joker.
Oh man, don't we like this gentleman? Jeez. Anyway, Todd Phillips wants him apparently after what he thought about it, he's interested in the role. No word from Warner Brothers yet. This is opening up a whole can of DC movies that we may get that are separate from the Justice League created United Universe.
Whatever they call it.
Whatever they call it is set to take place in the 80s. Scott Silver will join Phillips for the script. He obviously turned down Doctor Strange. He had also been in talks to play Lex Luthor and did not do that as well. But apparently he's interested in playing the Joker. What do you think?
Go ahead.
Very interesting casting. I love Joaquin Phoenix. I think the Joker is it requires a very particular type of energy and charisma and charm. And to me, Joaquin Phoenix, not that he doesn't have it, but I don't think it's what the Joker sort of requires. He's a bit serious and sort of reserved and kind of a quiet. Like, I know there were rumors about him playing Batman. To me, as crazy as that sounds, it fits more than playing the Joker, who's sort of eccentric and larger than life.
That said, I actually really do like the choice of Joaquin Phoenix to play the Joker, but I don't want a Joker origin story, man. I don't want to see him like fumbling around and then like looking up and he sees a clown. He's like, I could paint my face like a clown. Like that would really
But
turn.
Spencer, one time he wore a hood that was red and fell into some
There's
chemicals.
that. Well, if they're doing Red Hood, that's interesting too.
Yeah.
But I like the casting. Much like Solo, much like just in general, I think when you take a cool character and you examine how they became cool, you lose that. They are no longer cool.
That is the thing that Dark Knight did right, where they were just like, they did a lot of things right. But one of the major ones was, you get no information about this man.
Yeah.
You get a bunch of breadcrumbs, but they don't really lead to anything definitive.
Well, you get a
Whatever you
bunch
come
of
up with in your
misinformation.
imagination is going to clash with what they put on the screen,
Yeah.
and you're going to be upset.
What do you think? I mean, this isn't a done deal, obviously.
I remain openly skeptical that this movie will ever happen. Honestly, I think that, I mean, even the Variety article says that Jared Leto is still likely to come back and return to Suicide Squad. So it just seems strange as a company to have two versions of one character floating around. Because it's not like, Sony's doing the Spider-Man animated movie and the Spider-Man live action movie.
Yeah.
That's one thing. But to have like two live action versions of a character, an origin that might not tie to the origin of the other one, I don't know. This just... It just doesn't. It seems like something that could just completely disintegrate and fall apart. It's going to be Leonardo DiCaprio supposedly, or somebody wanted Leonardo DiCaprio, and now it's not, and now it's maybe Joaquin Phoenix, and he's a crazy person, just not in real life, or maybe in real life, I don't know, but just like the method that he went into, like the David Letterman thing. I guess they have to get crazy method people to play the Joker now.
Yes.
And Jack Nicholson just put on makeup and then went to Laker games. Yeah. But I guess now you have to live as the Joker to be the Joker.
Now you gotta kill rats.
But
Logan Paul?
Yes.
Ooh.
And
Logan Paul is the Joker.
Oh boy.
Hear me out. He tased a dead rat yesterday.
Why so serious, Logang?
And yes, I am aware that they shot Batman in England. That was just a
Joke.
joke.
The London Lakers.
But yeah, no, we'll see how far this comes to pass. I think Joaquin Phoenix is an interesting actor. He's one of those people that's like, I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm curious. But I also am still very skeptical.
As a friendly counter to the idea that it'd be weird that Warner Brothers would just make a hodgepodge of DC movies set in different continuities that don't make any sense next to each other, the comics have always kind of been that way too. This is a comic company that still, after decades of trying to sort of get its ducks in a row, is still like, I don't know what reality we're in. There's maybe 4 Jokers. I don't know, man. Who cares? Like, they are constantly just sort of hedging their bets and collapsing their reality in on itself. So if any comic book company is going to make a series of movies that are just like, it makes sense that it's DC. It almost makes it more of a DC.
Do you think that's the new DC division that we'll be getting? DC.
I mean, comics are, $3-4 a pop, and you can do separate storylines, and it's all right. Like, movies are different. Like, what if Joaquin Phoenix is amazing in this role? And everybody,
Suicide Squad too?
Yeah, like Heath Ledger, it's a Heath Ledger type performance. So everybody loves him. They're like, oh my God, that's an amazing take on that character. And Suicide Squad 2 comes out, and people are still like, I really don't like Jared Leto. And then you get a new Batman, and everyone loves the new Batman. Well, then it becomes like, well, you had to have Batman fight the Joker. Well, now which Joker do you have? Do you have the Jared Leto Joker? Do you have the Joaquin Phoenix Joker? Like, which universe is which? Which universe is canon? How do they cross? It just seems very muddy. So I think if they're going to go forward with this, they have to decide, and I hope that they do, how they're going to navigate these waters.
Or it all leads up to a big crisis movie where you see 4 different Jokers fight Batfleck and the guy from Spartacus that played Gannicus, who's still my pick for Batman, teaming up and saying, we're both Bat people. And
we'll then have a fan poll to decide who survives.
Yes, exactly. Who gets beaten to death with a crowbar?
Comment below.
Yeah.
And then they
But
just
if
start
they're gonna-
fighting each other. I want to see Gannicus fight Batfleck. So
Just
can
as
we make that
Gannicus.
happen? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine
Things
with that.
could be coming to a point soon, a flashpoint at which all this is settled.
But if they're going to do that, they need to start planning it now.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
just do it.
But I think DC actually lends itself to I'm more comfortable in the DC universe with ambiguity and just multiple versions of characters, because that's their line, at least, is that these are all mythic characters and these are the gods, the Justice League or the people on high from Mount Olympus. It's like we can have 5 different people telling Superman stories and all kind of different shades of Superman. That's kind of cool to me.
I like that idea. I feel like they firstly need to just establish their current universe, and it just hasn't been established enough. I think once you do that, and you establish all the main players that are going to really influence that universe, then I think it's safe to go off and be like, we're going to create these side stories, Superman Red Sun, Batman Year One, whatever you want to do, the Killing Joke. Then I think it will work better. But I think right now people just don't understand sort of how this universe works completely yet. So I think it could potentially confuse
We do,
audiences.
as an audience, I think, need at least some minimal IKEA instructions.
Yeah.
to sort of
At least a
figure out.
one-pager.
They haven't established their rules to break them, but I honestly think that they're ready to just break the whole thing with Flashpoint and just do whatever they want and have separate standalone movies and maybe let go of the idea of a shared universe, which I'm not entirely opposed to.
Yeah.
You know what we are going to get for sure? Tom Hardy as Venom, but you don't see him in the trailer. Did you guys watch the trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
I think the last time I was on here was talking about Venom.
You know what? I think I feel like I've seen all of the negative
You're a token Venom
responses,
guy.
and people are upset that we didn't see Venom, and we only sort of got the hint at it. I kind of liked it as a teaser. It's just a teaser. It's just giving you that flavor.
Yeah, but you have to know as a studio that if you release a trailer for a movie called Venom,
Show Venom.
and you don't have to do a full reveal, but you don't have any hint of what Venom is going to look like or what Venom is going to be, you have to know that there are going to be people. It's like if you released a trailer for Batman that was all Bruce Wayne, and you don't see Batman like at all. Like
He's
you
not
see
even wearing
like
a
maybe
suit.
the suit hanging up in the background, but
Yeah.
like there's no Batman. There's gonna be some people saying like,
Well, Dan,
where's Batman?
I think they did show you inadvertently the movie, which is that it's not going to have a lot of Venom in it. It's going to be Tom Hardy guy, and I do like his American accent. That's positive. I thought like, oh, he's pulling that off. I do like the back of his head. It looked good. Looked good walking around New York.
Yeah.
But this is going to be an origin story where Venom might not show up till the midpoint, maybe later.
He did a good American accent as well in The Fighter. And it was
Yeah.
similar vibe. I mean, I think I'm going to be, because I have seen most people are really pissed off, and I do get that, because it's like, why are you calling the movie Venom and not Eddie Brock? And
You're going to have Venom on your Venom movie.
Yeah.
Goldblum. On your symbiote tour.
Are you disinterested in the film?
Not so much because I didn't see Venom, but because I didn't get a feel for like what this movie is at all. Like the New Mutants trailer, for example. I don't know if that's going to be a good movie, but I know what kind of movie it's supposed to be. It's clearly supposed to be like a weird, dark, like trippy horror movie. This feels more like an early 2000s superhero movie where they were like, I don't know, it's Elektra. Like I didn't get any kind of
Elektra.
But you know what I'm saying? Just like
That's brutal.
skip Daredevil,
like
go
it
right to
just-
Elektra.
like it just seems like a bland. That's the feeling I got. Like, I at least even if I wasn't gonna get the symbiote, I at least wanted to get some kind of like tone for what they're doing. Is it gonna be like a weird twisted body horror? Instead, we just got a lot of him lying in a bed and a pretty generic voiceover, which was frustrating.
Well, I think I've been reading a little bit this morning. Like some people are kind of theorizing that, or there's some reports that Sony just basically wanted to get a teaser for this movie out in front of Black Panther because Black Panther's going to be so huge, and they're like, we don't have Venom, so let's just do this. And like, I understand that thinking, but at the same time, this reminds me of when they released the first teaser or trailer for Ang Lee's Hulk for the Super Bowl, which is a similar thing. Just like, it's not ready, but we want to get it out there. The problem being, you only get one chance to make a first impression. So I do kind of feel like I get the thinking behind Sony wanting to get something out there, but at the same time, I think they misread their audience a little bit, and they may have done more harm than good in that now I think a lot of people are like, whoa, what's going on? Like, was there a problem? Does Venom look bad? It's like, it just leads to more speculation, and I feel like they might have been better served to take a little more time, and you just got to get something. You have to have something. You don't need to be a big reveal, but you got to put something in there. Or people are going to think you're hiding something.
This kind of reminded me of the Batman Begins teaser trailer from 2004, which you don't see Batman at all. They use 2 photos at the end of the trailer to sort of flash the Batman suit really quick. But I think what that teaser trailer did so well was it really gave you a sense of what the tone of that Batman movie was going to be. It's not 97 Batman and Robin. It's very dark and serious and gritty. And this, I feel like it's trying to sort of do that, but I still don't have a good idea of like what is happening and what the tone is trying to be. Like, is it trying to be serious and dramatic and be completely different from Spider-Man in the MCU, or are they just trying to sell us on that, but the movie will actually end up being funnier than it is? And we get a glimpse of the symbiote in some sort of a tube, and then we see a little bit of it crawling out of Tom Hardy's shirt when he's laying down. But that's really it. I think it would have been great if they would have shown some sort of, even if it was some image that they flashed to of the Venom suit. But that's really, it's
I guess
a
my
very limiting
takeaway is
trailer.
that nothing in it was bad per se,
No.
but there was nothing
It wasn't the most
cinematic
interesting.
about it
Yeah.
that rose like above the level of like, oh, this looks like a cool new Netflix show. Oh, it's a movie? Oh, okay.
But I think you're right, though. I think it literally was like, we need to put something out in front of Black Panther because everyone's going to see it. We need to make sure everybody knows that this movie is coming.
Yeah.
I would say, though, but I feel like your questions are the answer, that a Tom Hardy Venom movie is not going to be funny in the way that Spider-Man is, and it shouldn't be. You don't get Tom Hardy to do, like, cracking those jokes.
No.
Unless he's with his dog and a jock scrap on his own, in which case he's actually very funny. Who knows? I don't think it's going to be like, it does feel a little bit on the generic side, but I think they want to give you exactly that sense that this isn't going to be like Spider-Man. This really can be a thing that's about Eddie Brock, that it stands alone, that is separate than that universe. I think it wanted to deliver all of those messages. How well it did or did not. If it feels generic, I totally understand that. But you know, it is a Netflix show that also had a trailer released yesterday that we didn't get to talk about. It's Jessica Jones.
Hey,
So
I
you
like
want to
her.
compare the movie trailer for
Christmas.
Venom to the actual Netflix trailer? Did you guys get a chance to watch this?
Yeah.
Did you like the
Yeah.
first season?
I liked the
Loved
first
it.
season
Yeah.
very much.
Really good.
It's tough to top that first season, I think. It's really tough. And it looks like, even though showrunner Melissa Rosenberg said that they're not going to make the dumb attempt of trying to top Kilgrave, is he kind of in there? Didn't it feel like at that last shot they're hinting that it's either a flashback or he's back? Did you get that?
Yeah, there was some purple
Well,
lighting
there was
and
purple.
some
clapping.
sarcastic clapping, which would definitely fit his vibe. Yeah, that could be something in her mind.
Yeah.
Joe was telling me that apparently Kilgrave has some kids in the comics.
Yeah,
that
there's weird purple kids.
Sure.
I can see him having a lot of weird
Little grimaces running around.
little
Yeah.
grimaces running around.
Little kids running around going, Jessica!
Yeah, you're not like the quote says. You're not going to top him as a villain. But so why not? I don't know. I'm of two minds about this. You want to bring him back, but he's so clearly dead that I would be annoyed if they brought him back.
I would be pretty annoyed if it wasn't just a flashback.
Yeah,
Or,
spoiler.
yeah, in her mind.
This was to me the vibe that I like from the Marvel shows. Due respect to the Defenders, but fighting in Dragon Bones didn't really do it for me. I liked the first half of that season when it was Sigourney Weaver and it was kind of that corporate sort of thing, and then it was like, no, we got to go fight her in some magical Dragon Bones. I'm like, okay, whatever. And I tuned out a little bit.
To be fair,
but,
it's still technically a hallway.
a hallway of dragon bones, magic, underground, buried, mystical dragon bones. This was that vibe. I felt that vibe again. And why I like the dynamic that they've established with the Netflix shows is that kind of humanistic, character-driven show that even that Daredevil is. More season 1 than season 2 of Daredevil, but I like the story. I like Kristen Ritter, and it made me excited for the second season.
It's odd. Did you find it odd a little bit that they're doing an origin story in season 2?
Maybe not. I mean, I think because of what they had to set up in the first season, they had to kind of make sure that it falls in line with where Defenders is going to go. It makes sense that they need to go back and do whatever they need to do with the second season, and it sort of isn't. I think a lot of her. I think we're going to spend a lot of time inside of Jessica's head in the season and see what happens with Kilgrave in season 1, how it's going to affect her going forward, and I think that's going to be where we see a lot of him. I don't think it's necessarily going to be in like our real world. I think it is going to be something really psychological, which I think is super interesting because we definitely do that in season 1, and I think a lot of it was just to build up Defenders, but now let's really spend time sort of dissecting what's in Jessica's mind and how have the events of everything sort of affected her.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be an origin season. I think the first season of Jessica Jones was about a lady dealing with shit that external forces put upon her, and this season is going to continue that theme with her dealing with her own internal demons. So I don't think it's so much as an origin story as is going to be continuing the theme of Jessica Jones practicing some self-care.
Well, I was a huge fan of that first season. I thought it was great. Here's what Melissa Rosenberg said. I learned working on Dexter, she did work on Dexter, that you can advance the character, but you never want to cure the character. Which makes sense. And she talks about the antagonists, our antagonists, plural, so there's more than one. No one's ever going to beat David Tennant as Kilgrave, so you don't do that. The biggest mistake would be to try to repeat that. You just go, okay, we're not going to do that. So we have this open to us. So we'll see what they do. I will say, I don't want her, I agree you can't necessarily, and you shouldn't necessarily just magically cure the character, but I don't want the entire season to her being like a brooding alcoholic. I do want her to have some kind of an arc. And come out the other side with a little bit of healing. You don't have to be perfect, Jessica.
As long as the other lesson they learned from Dexter is that she shouldn't go off and become
Be
a
a
lumberjack
lumberjack.
because of the Deus Machina hurricane.
I disagree. I would like to see her go off and
Just
become-
Jessica Jones in a beard,
There's no one more equipped to be a lumberjack than Jessica Jones
true.
with her super
Okay.
strength. Let's also
withheld.
define her powers a little better.
Yeah.
If we can't, right? Like, I love this character, but I feel like in the Defenders, it was like, okay, if she can punch through that wall when she punches the human, they're dead.
Right.
Can we establish that as a rule?
And she can't fly.
She cannot. She can jump.
Jump.
She can
Leap
jump.
tall buildings.
Yeah, but she can fly in the way that Superman in the comics could fly.
Yeah.
But yeah, they need anyway. Love that, Jessica. Love that, Jessica. Sequels. We're gonna hit this really quick, which is that Jumanji, guess what, has a sequel coming. Are you surprised?
Jumanji.
No.
Jumanji.
That one's free.
You're welcome.
This is closing in on
Now we gotta top that
$1 billion at the box office. And so everybody's coming back. The whole gang is back together. Dwayne Johnson, Jack Black, Kevin Hart, and Karen Gillan. No real details, but Dwayne Johnson has hinted that they may do something like about the origin of the game.
Great.
And
You love prequels, Dan.
No, it's just people never learn. Is you had a surprise hit that was
Yeah.
that made $850+ million, and your first thing is let's go back and tell the origin of it. It's like
Well, what they should do is do the spiritual Jumanji sequel, the space one, Zarathustra. No, that's
Zathura.
Nietzsche. Zathura. Yeah.
Zaratuza? Great.
Yeah, the Nietzschean sequel to Jumanji of the Will to Power, starring Kevin Hart. Yeah, the space one. Go to space.
I hope they don't do that.
I didn't see Jumanji 2, or whatever this is called, Welcome to the Jungle, so I have no opinion other than we made a lot of money, and so the way Hollywood works is, let's make more. Great.
Well, you
Just-
know what else? Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Just don't do the Matrix thing. Like that was the whole Matrix sequel thing. It's just like let's introduce the creator of the Matrix. Like no,
You don't want a
Don't-
15-minute scene where a guy in a white suit explains the Jumanji
Explains
game?
Jumanji. I don't
So
need it.
facto, we
I
roll
don't
the
need
die.
it. I hope the writers have something
don't
more
know.
than what the cast is speculating. 'cause
Well, I have some
don't-
bad news for you.
I
The Rock
also,
says goes, Dan.
yeah,
He wants to do an origin story.
I also
That's
used
like
to
a
love when there was a
spoof on
really
The Matrix. That would
fun
be
movie.
funny.
I'm into it.
I used to
into
love
it.
when there was a fun movie that didn't have to have a sequel.
Yeah.
When it would just be a really fun hit movie that everybody enjoyed and made a bunch of money and people liked, and it was like, great.
Or just a fun, disconnected sequel like,
Yeah.
Havana Nights or Weekend at Bernie's 2. You know?
Yeah, those classics.
You would think they would use the success of this movie and put maybe some of these actors in something else at Sony again, but something
Yeah.
different.
No,
Yeah,
no.
that's a great ensemble.
Yeah.
Like, find a project for the four of them to team up on, and
Yeah, make them like a repertory theater company. It's like The Rock, Jack Black, Kevin Hart, and
Karen
Karen
Gillan.
Gillan.
I'm just
Gillan,
hoping-
star and everything.
In my heart of hearts, I'm just hoping that The Rock is walking around the Sony lot asking people what they think about the idea of a Jumanji sequel, and when they start to tell him, he yells, "It doesn't matter what you think," and then just finds
and
another
jumps
person.
out of a skyscraper.
Jumps out of a skyscraper, exactly.
Well, I mean, I hear you guys on wanting the Jumanji players.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I just don't actually think that's how the market works. I think the market works where people will go see the Jumanji sequel before they'll go see the mighty Gillen.
I think they would see
Mighty
the new
Winds
Rock
of-
Kevin Hart movie, no matter if it was King Lear, if it was a
Oh
sequel
my
to
God.
Flashdance, no matter what it is.
I
they'll
want
see
this
those two.
exact cast to be in a Wes Anderson film.
There you go.
Yeah.
But Jumanji didn't succeed on the fact that it was a Jumanji movie. It opened okay, and it has held incredibly well because it was really funny and entertaining and a great family movie. It's one of those 4-quadrant things, had a great cast, really entertaining. It wasn't because it was a Jumanji movie. Same with The Greatest Showman. It didn't succeed, because Hugh Jackman was in it. It opened really small, and people liked it because it was entertaining and it connected to a lot of people. It's this idea of like, well, people just go see another one of those. Like, no, develop something different. And, don't just assume that people are going to go see another Jumanji movie. Unfortunately, they probably will. Hopefully, they make it good. But
But Dan, what if I told you that Jumanji and The Greatest Showman were part of the Dark Universe?
I just want to see the Flashdance to King Lear riff that Spencer was talking about.
Yep.
I would go pay good money to see that movie. I'd see it 2 million times.
If it's called Jumanji Origins, I'm going to be so upset.
Tears the
Jumanji.
logo.
No, it's gonna
I
be.
would take Jumanji over Jumanji Origins.
You guys, it's Jumangenesis. Jumangenous.
Oh boy.
You know what's an interesting sequel that I had not thought about, but a movie that did make a lot of money and certainly well above its budget is Get Out. So Jordan Peele, obviously this has now been nominated for Academy Award. Jordan Peele's been nominated for Academy Award. And in a recent interview with The Hollywood Reporter, he said, I'd never want to do a sequel that feels just like that for its own sake, but I'll definitely seriously consider it. I love the universe and I feel like there's more story to tell. I don't know what it is now, but there's some loose ends that feel like they want to be tied up, adding, I would have to have a story that I feel would take it up a notch. I don't know how you take The Sunken Place up a notch. I feel like that movie is so perfect as what it is.
The Sunker Place.
The sunkenest.
The
Get
most
the hell
sunken.
out.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we speculated about this in the Honest Trailer commentary. That I guess we were kind of hoping it didn't happen. Of course, I trust him if he says he has an idea that would take it up a notch, but he doesn't. And I don't think he would unless his next like 3 or 4 things fail. And he's like, well, maybe I'll get back to Get Out.
Sure.
I think that would be a sign of capitulation that like he's not. People aren't receiving his original stuff as much anymore. That he would come crawling back to Get Out because he doesn't have the story for it.
What if
right
he
now.
titled it Get Back to Get Out and the story was about a filmmaker that had to go back to an old film property because they weren't having any success?
Too
with
meta.
No.
it's too meta.
Fully
get
rejected.
up.
That's what happens when you get in the room with Spencer.
No.
No.
Put the rock in it. Give me
God.
Give me more stars.
Get me Jumanji. That's how it happens, Dan.
I know.
He is the executive.
Yeah,
See?
more stars.
I was pitching a thing, and he said, no, Jumanji. Get me that rock. Working titles for Captain Marvel and Wonder Woman 2. Want to get your quick gut check reactions here. Wonder Woman 2, due out November 1st, 2019, is being referred to as Magic Hour.
That's a working title.
That's
not
fun.
Yeah.
That's not what it's called, right?
Yeah.
No.
It's a working title.
That's like
That's-
how
that's what you-
Star
that's,
Wars is called Blue Velvet. Not Blue Velvet.
Blue Harvest?
Blue Harvest.
Very different.
It was called Blue Manji.
It's, Darth Vader found an ear on the sands of Tatooine in the opening scene. It was great. Magic Hour. That's a production term.
Yeah,
That's the hour
it's the
around
British
sunset when you get a very
sunset.
nice.
Some people have speculated because I don't remember the villain's name. There's a villain in Wonder Woman's sort of list of villain characters. I forget what the character's name is, but she has like magical abilities. So I think that's why people are starting to speculate, maybe they're using this villain because of this title. And I'm like, well, it's a
It
working
sounds
title.
like you need a new code name.
I
for
feel
the
like
movie.
Yeah.
I feel like
Sounds
Magic Hour is going to be so in Los Angeles when there's shoots and you got a lot of background extras and they got to know where to drive. There's just posters that are plopped with weird code words on them, and they tell the background extras follow the signs that say canoe, and you follow the signs to canoe until you find the set of Jumanji. And I have a feeling that Magic Hour is just the background.
Cat's out of the bag
extras sign.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Wonder
Sorry,
Woman 2.
guys.
Somebody.
Yeah, first
Loose
person
lips.
who sees the signs to Magic Hour, let us know.
Yeah,
Let's talk about
we want
that.
to go get some photos.
Captain Marvel. There's so many people that would do that, but I'm just far too lazy. March 8th, 2019 is when this one's out. This working title is Open World. Open World.
I think that's also another.
Open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also
code name.
Code
So
name,
sorry
Open
to
World.
the filmmakers
Yeah.
of Captain Marvel. You also need to come up with a new code name. for your
Yeah.
movie.
I feel like I'm going to get 2 calls today. One is
Right.
from Warner Brothers, and the other one
How
is
dare
from
you,
Disney.
Rob?
God damn it, we were trying to keep.
I'm surprised that the code name wasn't like if I was going to name one, it would have been, oh my God, why is that suit so green, and why does it look so stupid, and why is she on the street, and what's happening, and what's the plot, and I hate it already.
A lot of
That seems to
poster
be the
board.
discussion around
Doesn't
Captain
fit on a
Marvel
plaque.
nowadays. That's what I seem to be hearing.
That's
was,
too much for the background extras to read while
Yeah.
they're driving.
Yeah.
They'll get into car wrecks.
People
Just-
very upset about the out of context, non-lit, non-cinematic, in broad daylight suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they don't understand actually has a comic book history to it, but that's fine. Just read
Anyway.
a comic book, you'll be fine.
Well, but the other thing about that, to your point, is why they do try to keep these things private. Again, you're welcome. And we don't want you to waste your money on the poster board that it would take to have Dan's working title. Is that people do sneak onto the sets and they take out of, we would never do this because it's totally illegal.
We would do this.
Take out of context pictures that land on the internet and people lose their minds. And I, meanwhile, am celebrating her sensible freaking shoes. That's how you battle in those nice, sensible flats. I don't know. I thought it looked
That's
good.
what I've always said.
That's my second unpopular opinion today. I think I'm just going to start a Twitter account called Unpopular Opinion.
That's my, I just call that my Twitter account.
It's been good talking to you guys today. You know what? Adam,
Yeah.
you're the best. I want to can we take a few moments to celebrate Adam and everything he brings and has brought to Screen Junkies? He's going on to greener pastures, and we're going to miss the hell out of you, and you are amazing. This is the person that does all of our thumbnails. He does motion graphics. You go above and beyond. You're talented, insanely talented, cool, smart, contributor, nice
going.
gentleman. Okay.
It's gonna break my heart to shoot you behind the barn after the show.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Look at the flowers.
Yeah. No, I've had a. Wow. No, it's been great. So this is like almost 2 years that I've been here. I know it went by real fast. I've had a great time. It's been really great to be here from the beginning of Screen Junkies News, to see this whole thing grow into something. All the Comic-Cons that we've done. Man, those are crazy. Those Comic-Cons, whoo, you guys don't even know. They're nuts. But no, I've had a really good time here, and I'm sure this isn't goodbye. I'm sure, I hope I'll be invited back to do more stuff with you guys.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
Perfect. You hear it here first.
Well, yeah, it's true. Anytime you want.
Yep.
We're going to miss seeing you on the daily. You guys want to, Spencer?
Well, I never see them, so I don't think they have much to say.
Anything you want to plug? Where can we see you next?
Yeah.
I'm just, all my social media is very simple. It's just my name, Adam Hlavic. My YouTube channel is youtube.com/Adam Hlavic. And then every week, I'm on Hyper Heroes and Cineverse on Hyper RPG, youtube.com/Hyper RPG.
Yeah.
Well, it has been an honor
Still,
and a privilege.
hire Adam if you were in the position to
Yeah.
hire Adam.
Yeah.
Hire Adam.
I told Adam this right before we started. We literally don't know what we're going to do without him.
Yeah.
Like, literally, we've asked ourselves the question, what are we going to do once Adam leaves? And everyone's like,
I don't know.
I don't know.
He
We
did-
go dark.
Shut it down.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, really, like, your work is so extraordinary, and you've gone so above and beyond. Like I was saying, in terms of, you can just give him an idea, and he makes it so much better, and just delivers above and beyond every single time. You're in such capable hands. I'm gonna miss you.
I miss you guys too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To soothe our wounded feelings, let's look at a clip of this week's Honest Trailer.
Really?
I couldn't smoothly do that. I've been given the instructions.
And now this week's
That was-
Honest Trailer.
That was my worst segue
Yeah, let's
ever.
look at Showgirls. Yeah.
Go off on a high note. Yeah.
Or not.
Or not.
Or don't do it.
You remember Elizabeth Berkley from Saved by the Bell. Now she's all grown up, and she's bringing the same energy she brought to the Caffeine Pills episode.
I'm so excited! I'm so excited!
Watch her act balls to the wall no matter what's happening in the scene, whether it's dancing, dancing even harder,
Thrust it! Thrust it!
eating, speaking,
Whoa, sorry.
or just anything really. She'll chew the scenery like a rabid dog, then lick it afterwards for good measure.
Oh, lick it, lick it, lick it!
Woohoo! That cannot be sanitary.
Yeah, Showgirls. You can see the full Honest Trailer on Screen Junkies right now. It's really funny, and you should watch it. Watching it all together, you recognize the power of her movements, and she could just murder people with dancing. It's really impressive. Movie Fights is this afternoon at 4 p.m. It's going to be Mark Andreyko versus Rachel Cushing. That's going to be an awesome fight. Everybody should tune
Battle
into
of
that.
Titans.
Yeah, Battle of the Titans. You can see Dan Murrell there. You can hear Joe Starr laughing in the background. Adam, are you going to pop in and watch Movie Fights?
We're going to a really long lunch, so I don't know what's going to happen at the end of that lunch.
Yeah, he's like latest senioritis.
Yeah, that's fair.
Good.
All right, well, we'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. We look forward to seeing you then. Tune into all of the things, and thank you as always for watching.